School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day, interscholastic sports in Minnesota. This message presented by the MSHSL and the Minnesota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Amplify the good in our community with gratitude on repeat. Participating is simple. Head to our website and fill out the nomination form. The nonprofit with the most nominations from each location will receive a free advertising campaign in 2025. Gratitude on Repeat makes an impact for the winning nonprofits and the individuals these organizations serve. Their stories are inspiring and their work is remarkable. Nominations are accepted through the end of the year at layton.media.
We need your help to protect your right to have AM radio in your car. AM radio is always there in times of need. Democrats and Republicans have come together to support a bill to keep AM radio in cars. But Congress has a lot to do and time's running out. So please text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to the floor now. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month and you may text STOP to stop. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Layton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at layton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's layton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
Grant County, your news leader is News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it. Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies today with daytime highs approaching 39. West winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 26. Tonight, cloudy skies expected. Overcast tomorrow, chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain, highs around 37. A dusting of snow Monday. Right now, it's 28 degrees.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Welcome to the KBRF Coach Show with Craig Olson. Here's Craig.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the program as we have a couple of games on the radio I want to highlight before we get into the conversation with the coaches here. 2 games today. Hillcrest is at West Central area in boys basketball. Opener for the Comets, home opener for the Knights, and Bob Roars is going to be over there. 1:30, they tip it off in Barrett, and that game can be found on KJ Country 96.5 FM. And we have boys hockey. Mark Johnson on the road. Good win last night for the Otters against Dodge County. They won 6-3. Today they are at New Ulm, and that is a 2 o'clock face-off, and that game is on Real Rock Z103 today at 2 o'clock with Mark Johnson. So those are the games that we have on the radio today. And we are going to welcome Matt Johnson into the program this morning, head coach of the Otter boys basketball team. 2 road games this last week. You get to come home this week. That's the good news, right, Matt? You want to get some home cooking here. But, boy, I don't know if you're going to have 2 more opposite results or games than you had.
Yeah, hit the ground running. You get to start out going to Moorhead, playing a super physical, athletic team. I think they maybe surprised us with their defensive effort. I think it's hard to assimilate the kind of athletes they have in practice, and we're a pretty athletic team, but to really get your feet wet, that's a good way to start. I would say didn't have our A game, and you probably can't expect that in game 1, and turned it over 24 times, didn't shoot it well, and so some things to learn and grow from. I thought our effort was really good. Got down big in the first half and battled back to get it to a 1-point game late in the first half, and then got down 20 in the second half, got it back to a 7-point game. So good fight, some really good things to take out of that game, but also a lot to learn from. And, we talked on on Wednesday afterwards that's 1/26th of our season.
Right.
And it's a really long season, and you can't ride the high highs and the low lows. You just have to take it as one game, a really good learning opportunity. Watched a little film, got back to practice on Wednesday and talked really about our pace offensively. I thought our pace at Moorhead was almost lethargic. It took us forever to get into offense. We walked into a set defense, and they were really good at that. And then I thought our kids fixed that well against DL. Played with really good pace and tempo. We're able to get some easy buckets in transition early, which then offense seemed to flow. So yeah, 2 different games, 2 different styles, but both were. I thought we competed well.
One thing coaches always can do, no matter how you play, you always take something out there that you can work on, right? And try to improve. I mean, even in a big win like the 94-67 win at Detroit Lakes, I'm sure the coaches in the coach's office or on the bus or wherever found things to work on in practice.
Yep. Winning masks a lot of flaws and a lot of things. And when you really dig in, you go, okay, well, we won big, but the game was closer than that. We jumped on them early. They got it back to a 6-point game, I think, late in the first half. And we were able to kind of pressure, maintain our defensive effort throughout the game, which created a lot of our offense. But yeah, when you really dig in, you look and say, man, we still left a lot on the table. I told you earlier, scored 94. It's a game we probably could have scored 120 if we would have consistently attacked the rim. We got things at the rim pretty easily that game. And so yesterday's practice was about how do we put pressure on the rim, whether that's post entries, drive and kick game, so different things. But yeah, you leave a lot there. And then defensively, we're turning teams over. Even the Moorhead game, we had 16 steals. And you look and you go, man, that's a big number. So defensively, we're doing a good job of disrupting and maybe dictating the terms. But then I would say the off-ball side of it isn't as solid as it needs to be. So yeah, certainly taking things, but the kids are giving great effort. Coachable group, so it's a lot of fun going to work with them.
I listened to both games, and I told you it was easier to listen Thursday than Tuesday as an Otter fan. But it seems like you've got a team, and tell me if I'm wrong here, but just the perception I get in listening to the way the Otters played, you have a team that's going to create a lot of transition opportunities. And then it's what you do with that opportunity. Are we going to finish that opportunity in a positive way, or are we going to do something to turn it over and end that opportunity? Is that going to be a real strength of this team, just creating those transition opportunities?
Yeah, the athleticism. Look at Micah and Henry up top, putting ball pressure. Levi King anticipates incredibly well. He's one of those kids who you see shooting a passing lane and getting we call it a pick six, right? Getting that quick transition to offense. Ryan Hurst is a really talented kid on the back end. Smart, anticipates well. So yeah, we just have a lot of options there. And then I would say we have a system created for that we're trying to put pressure on teams, put them into spots where they have tough decisions to make and really have to thread a perfect pass. And if they don't, we're gonna reap the benefits of that. So our kids have bought into the system. I've appreciated that. It's similar to what we've done in the past, but I would say ratcheted up a little bit. And I think we can do that because of our athleticism and the rim protection on the back end of it.
And when you have a team that can do that, it's important that you are also able to identify when you shouldn't do that, when you shouldn't try to push it if it's not there, and settle for, okay, let's run our half-court offense.
Yeah, I was talking to Tyler Borman, Concordia's head coach, yesterday, and we were talking about that. And Mark Pope from Kentucky had a tweet or a quote early in the year about keeping it simple, and if you really want to grow your game and excel at your game, you should keep it simple. And that's one quote we'll use with our guys next week. That really the simplicity is what you really want to expand your game, go from good to great. It really is about keeping it simple and getting really good at those things. And we have a tendency to want to play with flair, and it's a lot of fun. And when it works, the crowd will love it. But it's not always the most effective play. It leads to increased turnovers, sometimes difficult shot selection. And so So keeping it simple, I think, is something that we'll have to get better at. And those are things that, right, we're 2 games in, and it's a long road, and we'll keep working on those things. But certainly a lot to be excited about and build off of.
Let's talk about the Moorhead game a little more. You got off to a slow start. You couldn't get going offensively, and when that happens, then you start, even if it's early in the game, and we've got the whole game ahead of us, and this isn't out of hand or anything, but when things aren't going well, it's kind of hard to, start to turn that around.
Yeah, you feel that pressure. I would say, especially game 1, right? You go 6 minutes and you haven't really scored, and then you go back and watch film. In the moment, as a coach, you feel like, okay, we're doing all this wrong. Well, in reality, Henry had 2 threes that hit back iron. Ryan Hurst had a post move that hit back iron. Levi King went baseline, and they made a nice defensive play to kind of make it a tougher shot. And that's 4 of our first 5 possessions. Well, if one of those shots go, the game has an entirely different feel. Instead, you start to press a little bit, maybe squeeze a little tighter, aim a little sharper, and all of a sudden you're just not playing. You're overthinking it, and that was certainly the case that night. I thought and a lot of that is credit to Moorhead's defense, but ultimately, sometimes you just need to see the ball go in, and the game gets easier. And so, yeah, that was certainly a struggle for the night. We really missed Luke Pearson's battled an ankle. I think we've got him back here this coming week. He practiced yesterday, but I thought Moorhead was a game we really missed Luke's presence and his ability to shoot the ball. And we'll move forward. We're excited to have him back for our next one.
69-62 was the final score. I look at the weapons you have and the variety of scoring opportunities that these guys are going to create, and I think you're not going to have a lot of games in the 60s. I think this team is going to score more points.
Yeah, and I think that's how this team is designed. Henry and Ryan are clearly 2 really talented scorers, but the guys around them are not slouches. They all shoot it. We haven't shot it well yet, which has been maybe a little surprise to us, just in terms of the way we've shot it in practice has been really impressive. And so just translating that to game speed will be the thing. But Levi's scored well. When you look around, Isaac Ellison, Micah, Luke Pearson are really good shooters. Jack is a force around the rim. Eston Bethel has been getting a few minutes, and he's a kid that can score and create in a variety of ways. So, yeah, I would think an up-tempo style, guys that aren't afraid to shoot it and score early in a possession, and the way we can create offense off of our defense, I would say games are going to be, should be some high-scoring affairs, and I'm not necessarily wired. I love the defensive end. I love the discipline there, and you kind of have to figure out what you're willing to live with and mold and change to a certain group. And I think this is one that we're willing to play in a shootout a little bit because they have that ability to score.
And yet, when you need to play shutdown defense for a possession or two or protect a lead late in the game, you feel you have the mental capacity to be disciplined and say, hey, we need to do this, let's do it?
Yeah, I think that's part of the learning process too, is time and situation, right? So the gambling for a steal in the middle of the first half isn't the same as a gamble for a steal with 3 minutes to go in a 6-point lead. We had one in DL where I thought we had a 16, 18-point lead. We were starting to really stretch it where it felt like, okay, the next 2 minutes we can kind of end it. And we gambled for one up top. They attacked. Ryan Hurst made a great block on the back end. The problem is Ryan had 4 fouls, and so that easily, the film lesson is that could have been his 5th foul because we gambled and didn't get it. So maybe at that point we'd just be really solid, make them take a contested shot and rebound the ball. And so you learn through some of those situations. But yeah, I think when it comes down to it, we have kids that can keep the ball in front of them. We've got posts that can protect the rim, and so I think we certainly have the ability to get big stops when needed.
Boy, and you have the guys that can utilize that blocked shot to their advantage for sure. That's a weapon in Ryan's arsenal for sure, but he's not the only guy that can go up and block a shot, and that can just turn a situation into a positive real quickly.
Yeah, Ryan's one, Levi's one, Luke Pearson's one, Henry. Those are guys who we've all seen have the chase down or the pin it off the backboard kind of block that generally turns into quick offense. So yeah, we have rim protection. We have some of the highlight plays are going to be fun. I think we have I want to say it's 8 or 9 dunks through 2 games as a team, and a couple more missed dunks, missed opportunities. 3 or 4 of those big blocks that gets everybody on their feet. So it's certainly fun to see how that translates from defense to offense, and it keeps the crowd involved and makes it a really entertaining brand of basketball.
So you got off to a fast start in DL, a real good start for the Otters, and then they fought back, made it interesting. Then you pulled away again. It's a game of rallies, I guess. But that night, Ryan Hurst had 30 points. Henry Bethel had 28, almost had a double-double by the stats that I got. Maybe he did have one. I don't know.
I think he did.
Okay.
I think he did. The game stats and the final stats usually end up being one or two off. Our kids do a pretty good job, but yep.
Yeah.
I think he ended with 10.
Levi King, 16. Jack Rat, 6 points, 6 boards, 3 assists. That's a Jack game.
That's a great stat line.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, we're seeing what you're just talking about, and you've got a lot of different people that can contribute there. But that was a good comeback from Tuesday to get that win in DL. Now, 3 games this week. You host Ricori Tuesday night, and that's a girl-boy doubleheader, right?
Yep. Yeah, I think girls have Bemidji. We have Ricori.
Yep.
So that's a doubleheader.
And both those, by the way, here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. Then go to Apollo. So you've got 2 Central Lakes Conference matchups here. And what's your evaluation of the conference, Matt, as you look at it?
You know, Alexandria, Sauk Rapids. I think we're in that mix of kind of the top tier. Brainerd's always going to be tough. Apollo returns arguably one of the best scorers in the state. So they're a scary team. Ricori beat Apollo the other night. Tech, it will be all new faces. Wilmer is kind of one of those, was a younger team last year. So, you know, I really think that top echelon is terrific. And then there's a middle ground there that's gonna take a little time with new faces to weed itself out and see where it is. But there's never an easy night, right? I don't look at our schedule and say, well, if we can just get to that 2-game stretch, that's where we can relax. Like, it doesn't exist. Ricori will be a physical team. They've got some good size. They have 2 guards that return that handled the ball a lot last year, so they'll take care of it. Really well coached team. So yeah, you just have a grind every single night.
Well, we'll look forward to it. 3 games at home next Saturday. West Fargo, Cheyenne. Is that an afternoon or an evening?
Girls, it's a girls will play, and then we play at our JV night at 4:30 and varsity at 6.
Yeah.
Girls will be prior to those 2 games.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Thanks, Matt.
Awesome. Thank you.
Matt Johnson, head coach of the Otters. He's also coaching youth basketball today. So Matt is on his way to the gym for the backcourt club tournament here today. Well, we're going to talk swimming and diving with Randy Hansen. Well, swimming. On the other side of the break here, as the Otter boys are in the water getting ready for the season. We'll take a time out. You're listening to our Coaches Show here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app.
In today's business climate, you want an advisor with the knowledge and expertise to help you with all of your goals. You want someone you know and can trust. At American Federal, Ag and Business Banker Chris Marvel will help you find the best solutions. Whether you're looking to remodel, improve, or expand your business, count on Chris Marvel right here in Fergus Falls, helping clients create a successful future. American Federal Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, my name is Lori, and I'm the housing manager at Sheridan House in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. If you're 55 or older and looking for a quiet and comfortable apartment with underground parking, meals available for purchase, a flexible month-to-month lease, plus $500 off your first month's rent, give me a call at 218-998-7404 or go to lbhomes.org/Sheridan. I'd love to show you around and see if Sheridan House is right for you.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Finding that missing shin guard, remembering whether it's a home or away game,
getting the right kid to the right playing field on the right day. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. We work with independent agents who keep insurance simple so you can worry about more important things, like not being that fan. Oh, come on, Ref! That's simple human sense.
Visit the Arneson Agency at their new location, 120 East Lincoln, Fergus Falls.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls has a fantastic starting lineup with America's 3 favorite truck brands, Ford, Ram, and GMC. Nelson Auto can help you enjoy your time out on the road. Check out our starting lineup at Nelson Auto Center, Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. Randy Hansen is joining us. He's the head coach of the Otter Boys swimming team as they get their season rolling. First day of practice was last Monday, and your first meet is next Saturday. That happens fast.
Yeah, this past Monday. So we've been 5 days in. We go right after I'm done here. We're back in the pool. So for our Saturday practice, and then a week from today, we're in the water at for the Otter Invite. So it's good.
Yeah, that UVis invite next week. What's the lowdown there as far as when it starts and what people need to know?
Yeah, so diving starts at 11, so we get all that done ahead of time, and swimming starts at 1 o'clock. It's going to be busy at the school too, because there's girls and boys basketball games going on all day. I think the admission is free from Minnesota Motors. I think, and
awesome.
So I mean, so it's just it's going to be great, and we got some new teams. We got more teams than we've had in a number of years, though. So yeah, well, swimming is changing a little bit. Teams are getting smaller, and like DL and Perham are now one team. They're just Detroit Lakes.
Okay.
So that started last year, and then Thief River Falls, their school with budget cuts, cut their boys swim program.
Whoa.
So they don't have a team anymore. So that changes our section as well. So that'll be interesting. And they were never a huge power, but one less team is going to make things interesting when we reseed the section for next year. But anyway, so I needed some new teams, and so Morris will be there. They always come. DL will come, and Park Rapids is coming back for the first time in a long time, so that's great. And I needed a few more teams, and so my nephew swims for Princeton, and so I reached out to them and kind of put a little pressure on their coach, so they're coming, and so that'll be great. And I know the Bemidji coach pretty well too, so they're going to come down. We haven't seen them for a long time. And then I was looking for another team just to kind of round things out, somebody we don't see normally, and so Montevideo is also going to come up. So we've got 7 teams. I might be missing somebody in there, but we got 7 teams that are going to come, and it's gonna be a great time.
Sounds like a good day. You mentioned diving starting at 11.
Yep, diving's at 11, and
you don't have any divers.
We do not have any divers. Yeah, so that's and that's another thing. The number of divers for boys teams are just less and less and less. Girls have a lot more divers because it's a lot of gymnasts,
right?
That do that in the fall. But boys, it's just as a whole across the state, it's just getting less and less. And there's some teams like Alex got 2 stud divers and things, but they don't have a ton after that.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of teams like us that have 1 or 2. So yeah, we're gonna take it on the chin with a big 0 in the diving, but I don't know what else I can do about that. So if we do get divers, I'm gonna end up coaching diving because we don't have a diving coach. So but that's okay. Well, not a problem for now.
To entice Mike Hartwell out of retirement.
Yeah, maybe I could twist Coach Jarvie's arm back to come back. She coaches the girls, but we'll see. We got to get some bodies first.
Right.
Yeah.
Then don't put the cart before the horse, as they say.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a number of great returning swimmers for you. Have state experience in some cases, in a lot of cases. So you've got to be pretty optimistic about what this team can bring to the table.
Yeah, we lost a couple, good point scorers. Logan Rod and Adrian Blondeau were good point scorers for us, and both of them were on relays. And so that we need to replace them. And then Will Nuss, being our diver, obviously we're not replacing him because there's nobody to take his place. But the guys that are left, we have no seniors this year.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. But, we're not inexperienced, so that helps a lot. So our juniors, all 3 of them have, state experience. Matthew Toole has been down there now twice as an individual, placed last year in the, in the 500. And then Reese went down in 2 events and the 2 relays last year. So he's got experience, and he placed in the backstroke last year. And then Landon Vadava was in one of the last relays and didn't qualify for the, for sections didn't qualify for finals, but still got state experience and things. And he's looking really good so far this year. So those 3 guys are really good, and they're the 3 captains as well. They're going to be great leaders, and they've got they know what it takes to get back down there. And then we've got some pretty stud sophomores too, so that really helps a lot.
Are these guys that have the state experience pretty locked into events? I know there's some versatility on this team. Are you trying to reevaluate of what events are going to be in, or how are you going to deal with
Yeah,
that?
always. When it comes to relays, that's always up in the air
Right.
too. A little bit. But Jaden has always been kind of a butterfly freestyle guy, and we might see him do more freestyle this year. Ethan Strandy just barely missed out on breaststroke last year. I think he was fourth, just barely missing. Logan Rott was third. So, he's going to be swimming breaststroke. He's our breaststroke guy. Reese will obviously be doing backstroke, and Matthew's kind of the distance swim guy. But, Landon Vadava is one that we'll see where that goes. He's always been a 200, 500 guy, but he really likes the 100 freestyle too, and that's coming along nice. And he had some really nice splits last year in that last relay. So he might end up swimming a little bit more of that. Same with Jaden, might be swimming a little more 100 freestyle. Just because guys did it one year doesn't mean they do it again.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes their stroke just kind of comes together when it was terrible last year, and now they're like, hey, we got something to work with there. So you just never know, but we'll put them where we can get points, right? Yeah.
What's your deepest event or area? Sprints or the do you have distance? Good depth at distance?
Well, no, not really.
No.
I mean, we have Matthew is going to be the 2 and the 5, and then Landon, depending on what we do with him, 200, and maybe he can swim the 500, but I know he's trying to get away from that a little bit, and so then we'll definitely need some more people there. So that's always going to be an area that we're going to have some problems with, going forward. I would, freestyle is always the easiest to have
Right.
depth in, just because everybody swims that. That's the easiest stroke, to do in practice and things. So we have a lot of depth with that. We have a lot of kids that can swim a pretty decent backstroke, so that helps a lot. And and breaststroke is not maybe as deep as it could be either, but I'd have to say freestyle. But our and sprints mostly, 50s and 100s would be probably where we're at the most.
So I'm just curious here. I know there are summer leagues in basketball and hockey and camps and all this. What does swimming have in the off season, Randy? Do your guys attend camps during the year or get instruction at the college situations that coaches offer, or how does that work off season?
Yeah, there's a program called USA Swimming that has clubs. And so you'll hear it in the cities and in St. Cloud, there's club swimming, club, and so there are kids that'll swim high school, but then that's all they do is they swim club the rest of the year. And so, I'm not really sure if that's good or bad, but that's what they do. And so guys around here will swim club in the summer. Matthew and Lucas Toole go up to Moorhead, swim in the club there, and the other guys swim with the Flyers here, and it's just more refining skills and just keep going, getting some yards in the practice in the pool, and just getting bigger and stronger. Then of course they lift and things. So that's always. I mean, if you want to make a jump, it's like anything. You don't have to play AAU basketball, but it helps. You don't have to do all those traveling baseball teams, but it helps.
Mhm.
But it's not a deal breaker. But same with swimming, you don't have to do those things, but anytime you can get yards in the pool, that helps.
So we know you've got a lot of underclassmen and a lot of experience coming back, but who are the new guys that are coming on the scene that you think might be able to make an impact? Who's impressed you so far?
Well, and not really a new guy, but Lucas Toole as a 7th grader really turned a lot of heads, and he's maybe grown 3 inches, and his voice has dropped about 2 octaves maybe. So I told him, I said, I hardly recognize your voice anymore. So he's grown quite a bit. So it's going to be fun to watch him develop more, and he looks really good. So he's going to score. I mean, he was a guy we counted on last year, so he's not really a newcomer. 2 people that I think will be up there. Gabe Carlson will be, somebody that'll be leaned on. You talked about camps. A number of guys went to a swim camp at Gustavus, and so he and Jaden, Ethan, Reese, and Landon were all down there swimming. Getting instructions from the Gustavus coach, who's really, really good. And so that's really helped him the last 2 years, and he's just, of course, grown physically now. He's a sophomore, and so you start to see those guys fill out. They're not skinny, scrawny 9th graders anymore. So now they're putting on muscle. They're in the weight room, regularly. They swim in the summer. And so we're really going to see him have some really big benefits that way.
You mentioned the weight room. How much a part of the program in season is the weight room? Do you have set times during the week to get in there?
Yeah, with our new weight room setup, it really helps a lot. And our other weight room was fine, but this new one is just so much better, and we are able to do so many more things. And Paul Ratz is always looking at stuff and looking at programs and what they do and what's good for swimmers and what's good for different events. And so he's always tweaking stuff. And so we're lifting pretty much every day that we don't have a meet. And that's new this year. And not every lift is the same. It's not all, power. He's got them doing bands. He's got them doing recovery stuff. They're doing box jumps. They're doing all sorts of not crazy stuff, but different stuff using all sorts of different muscles. And it's going to be good. But man, were they tired yesterday. So it was the third day of lifting. They lifted Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Plus, we started the new trimester, and plus it was the full week of practice, and they were just dead yesterday. And of course, we didn't exactly work them easy either. So there's, but to get back to your point, the weight room is huge, and it's going to be a bigger part this year. We're just going to keep lifting. I don't really care if we're a little bit tired and sore when we swim Alec and Sartell,
right?
Because it's going to pay off at the end of February, and that's when we're going to be our best.
Right. All right, let's talk about conference. Central Lakes Conference, some tough teams there every year.
Yeah, you never know what's exactly, but Sartell and Brainerd are always loaded to the gills, and Alec has lost a couple people, but they've got a few studs back, so I would think that they will be the top three. Individually, the St. Cloud Tech's got a couple times state champ, Mike Davis, who's going to be, he committed to Virginia, which is a pretty top-notch swim program. Yeah. So just watching him, you just stand in awe and just applaud that ability when he's done. So, but as a team, it's definitely going to be Brainerd and Sartell, barring some craziness that I'm not aware of. But we like to be in the mix. I think we'll compete. We have a shot to win a couple dual meets and things, but we're smaller. We don't have as many upperclassmen. We don't have, but so we're always kind of against the 8 ball, but we don't really use that as an excuse either. It is what it is. And I'd rather swim hard, against against the CLC teams than, pick up, miscellaneous meets here and there, and then not be at our best at the end of the year. So the CLC is really good for us, even though we just get pounded during the year.
Well, it's definitely stronger than your section every year, which is good. I mean, you get great competition from tough teams in the CLC all year, and then the section, you've seen all the best teams. So.
Yeah, we should be in the top 3 in the section for sure. So, Melrose Sox Center, Alec, and us, and we're probably behind both of those, but I think we're sitting pretty good for third. And you never know what those other teams have and what they've lost, so we'll be in there in some way, shape, or form, but next year, like I said, our section could be very, very different because the high school league likes to shuffle teams around. So we're gonna make hay while we can this year, and I'm not gonna stress out about next year yet.
Trying to keep track of all that is a full-time job.
Right? Yeah.
Randy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I know next week will you be able to maybe not?
Yep, I think so. Yep,
all right, good. Yep. We'll preview the meet a little more and see where you got people swimming.
Real good. Thank you.
All right, Randy Hansen, head coach of the Otter Boys swim team, joining us this morning, and we're going to switch back to basketball. Otter girls basketball coach Josh Steer will join us after the break. You're listening to the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
When you struggle with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, you get used to not feeling 100%. I thought that was how it had to be. Until I discovered the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. They told me about new medications that weren't around back when I was diagnosed. They helped me find a specialist who gave me a new treatment plan. I'm feeling better than I ever thought I could. Don't settle for not feeling your best. Take action today to take care of yourself. Spill your guts. Learn more at spillyourguts.org.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Peterson with West Central Initiative. When you're making your list and checking it twice, don't forget to include a gift to your community through West Central Initiative. Your donation helps address critical local issues like early childhood care and education, climate action, rural democracy, and more. And when you give through West Central Initiative, you're pooling funds with others to create a greater collective impact. So this holiday season, donate to one of hundreds of West Central Initiative funds at WCIF.org. It's a gift that keeps on giving for generations to come.
Welcome back to the program. I think I do more talking between interviews than during interviews. But
well, I'll let you talk as much as you want to during this one.
Yeah.
Craig.
This is Josh Steer. He's the head coach of the Otter girls basketball team, and they have a great start. They are off to a 3-0 start. Took one on the chin last night. Got beat 50-49 at Sartell. More on that in a minute. Let's go back to Tuesday, and your win over the Spuds final was 69-49. My headline on the website had you forcing 25 Moorhead turnovers. That's a good thing. It leads to some opportunities on the end, and that night you were finishing those opportunities.
Yeah, our shooting percentage was really high that night, and really that comes down to us pushing in transition and getting some of those opportunities in the open court, and not letting the defense set. And when you do that, you're going to get some of those open looks, and open looks are just a little bit easier to knock down or finish than those contested ones.
Is this going to be a strength of your team all year, Josh, being able to force teams into turnover situations?
Yeah, I think we're kind of sneaky. We're long. We're athletic. So I think that causes some problems for kids. Bella Anderson is maybe not quite 6 feet program height. Ruby Ellison is long. Bryn Sternberg is long on the ball. And then we have some speed there too with, Julie Hychek coming off the bench, and she's sneaky, and she'll see a pass coming. Some of those kids, they see an open pass, and she just closes that passing lane down real quick. So, and Carly Hurst, she works really, really hard on the defensive side and gets some touches. And then Hattie Fullhart is typically tasked with guarding one of their best players, if not their best players, if we're a man. And she did a really nice job the other night on her end for a little bit. And yeah, she just is always in people's kitchens, and they don't like that. And she's causing some disruptions there. So I think you're going to see us take a lot of pride in our defense, and hopefully that'll transition to our offense. Is kind of the way we've kind of been living.
Hey, whatever Ruby Ellison had for a pregame snack or meal, you got to get that on the menu every week for your whole team, because, man, did she come out on fire. She had 21 first-half points, made 4 of her 5 threes in the first half, and just was, coming into the game cold like that and getting hot right away. That doesn't happen often.
No, apparently she likes the 6 o'clock start, so that'll bode well maybe for Tuesday night with Bemidji at home. But yeah, whatever she had, her pregame routine, we got to make sure that we keep that the same, because we're pretty superstitious like that. But yeah, it was an amazing start for her, and she's more than capable of doing that. And to do that is really, really impressive. To go 4 for 5 in the first half, if you put a rack of balls in front of a kid in an empty gym, going 4 for 5 is hard, let alone with defense in front of you. So that was really impressive. She's capable of doing those things. And the thing I love about Ruby is she's always kind of had that catch shoot ability, and now she's added to her game. Now she can put the ball on the floor. She can get to the rim. She's developed a pull up shot too. So she'll take a dribbler or two and then pull up and knock down a shot. So she's really hard to guard right now because you have to honor her on the arc. And when you do that, that opens up a driving lane because they're closing out like crazy, and you can put the ball on the deck and get to the rim and finish, or you can pull up, and that's a deadly combo.
26 points she wound up with for you that night. Bryn had a great night, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals. Again, we've talked about this before, how she's able to stuff the stat sheet, and she did the first night.
Yeah, and that's another thing she's been working on too. Last year we relied heavily on her to score because we had to, and this year we have other girls and other pieces that can shoulder that burden for her, and then she can get to do some other things, and sharing the ball has been one of those, and her being a rebounder for us is one of those pieces where if your point guard's one of your leading rebounders, it just bodes well for your transition offense because your point guard has the ball in their hands without a pass. So when she goes and gets a rebound, we can really run the floor, and it's a fun brand of basketball to watch.
You hit 47% of your threes that night, and we talked about Ruby's three-point shooting. You have a number of kids that can shoot it from out there. What's the kind of the philosophy going into a game about the freedom to take a three-pointer? I mean, are these girls pretty much, if they have that open look, go, put it in?
Yeah, we're not pulling the reins on anybody at this point, and we think, Hattie Fullhart can knock down some shots, Julie Heidcheck can knock down some shots, Reese Keel can come in and knock down some shots. Carly Hurst knocked down a couple last night. So we have the wide variety of people to do that. And then of course you've got Brynn and Ruby as well. And I really like Bella Anderson when she gets her back to the basket and she can get the ball in her hands inside to out and work the rim area a little bit for us. It's going to open up the perimeter for our guards. And I feel like last night down in Sartell, we kind of got away from that a little bit with going in to out, but something we have to come back to.
Yeah, let's talk about Sartell. 50-49 loss last night. You were down 17-1. I mean, to make it a 1-point game at the end was amazing in and of itself when you get down by 16 early. What happened at the start?
Well, credit to Sartell. Their defense was a lot that we couldn't handle right away. They took us out of rhythm right away. I thought we maybe had a couple of good looks. It's never as bad as you think, and it's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. And looking back on that one, it was pretty brutal. When I looked up at the scoreboard, and I'm like, okay, ladies, it's 17-1 here. We gotta think about going here. And when you dig yourself that big of a hole, it's really tough to come out of. But looking back on it, we had some looks early. We missed some layups. We missed some outside looks. It's not like we weren't getting shots. They just weren't falling. And, when we shoot 17% from the three-point line, it's that's a tough stat line to survive, and especially the style that we play. And last night was just one of those nights where the shots weren't falling early, and our defense kept us in it because after that 17-1 run that they started the game on, we answered back, and we cut it to 4 at halftime, so it was 25-21 deficit going into the break, and we worked as hard as we possibly could to get back to that point, and when you're back within 4, it's anybody's game.
Well, last night with their defense, Sartell they held Ruby to 6 and Brynn to 5, and what did they do specifically to slow them down? And when that happens, there's a teaching moment for you. How are we going to figure out how we score without them involved in the offense?
Yeah, and Sartell's defense was really, really good. They're super physical, but they're really good with their feet. They're quick, so they could keep people in front. We couldn't get going downhill. They made it really hard for us to even ball screen because they pushed us away from the arc a little bit physically, and we kind of let them do that. So they kind of dictated where we were running our offense at, and then we didn't really respond great there. And then with the away from the ball, I mean, they made it hard to reverse the ball anywhere. And when you start running your offense further away from the three-point line, those passing lane gets a little bit wider and a little bit longer, and gives that defense a chance. So they didn't do anything special. They didn't junk defense or anything like that. They just played man-to-man defense, and they had girls that could guard us. And next time we'll be ready.
Well, that Sartell team is going to be a tough team in the conference for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. They're 4-0. I think they're 4-0 in the conference.
Yeah.
So, they're going to be really good, and they're 4A. They're in Section 8, 4A, so they're in with like Moorhead and St. Michael and those teams. So they have a tough road in the section, but they're going to be at the top of the conference for sure.
Hey, you have 3 games this week, Josh.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
All at home.
That's the best thing right there. You got Bemidji coming in Tuesday. Now, I have it as 5:30. You have it as 6, right?
I do have it at 6, but I could be wrong.
Well, I checked the Otter online schedule, and it says 5:30, but game times change all the time, it seems.
Well, I'll have to triple check with Mr. Abrahams then.
Yes, I will also.
Okay.
Maybe Derek will text me right now and tell me.
Yeah, hopefully he's listening.
You better be.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Tuesday with Bemidji. What do the Lumberjacks bring?
They've got some size, and they have a couple of pretty quick guards. So they're going to be solid. I think they're maybe 4-1 coming in to Tuesday. I think they have a game on Monday, so maybe that'll bode well for us. Maybe I think they have Ricori at home, so so maybe they'll be a little bit tired coming in, or it's tough to go back to back. So we'll probably look to push the pace a little bit. Our defense can stay locked in. Coach Sternberg's been doing a great job on the defensive side of the ball, and then if you do that, you're going to give yourselves a chance to win every night. Like last night, we didn't shoot the ball really well, and we had a chance to win it at the end. And you give up 50 points, and you should give yourselves a chance to win every night, and we did last night. So hopefully they say defense travels. Well, hopefully defense travels home, because we haven't been home yet. So hopefully we can bring that Fergus Otter girls defense back to the Gold Gym.
They like to protect their home floor. I know that.
Yep.
Sauk Rapids Rice on Thursday. How about the Storm this year?
They are rebuilding. They're a 4A school that only has one team. They don't have a JV. They don't have a ninth grade team, so they have a varsity only. They've taken some lumps so far this season, but they're going to be a young team that's building for the future, and we're going to have to use our experience in that one.
And then next Saturday, Fargo Davies coming in at 3 o'clock game Saturday afternoon. Have we played Fargo Davies before?
We've never played Fargo Davies before. This one kind of came up randomly. We were going to play in like a Moorhead like border battle tournament, and then that didn't work. So then they reached out and wanted to play, and they're defending state champs from North Dakota last year, but they did graduate a couple of pieces. They have a new head coach, but they still have she's for sure a 1,000-point scorer. I don't know if she's a 2,000-point scorer. I can't say that for certain, but they're going to be good. We saw them this summer and summertime, but they play a nice style of basketball, and I forget her name, but she's a really good basketball player. She can shoot it. She'll shoot it from deep, and she can put it on the floor and get to the rim. So she's going to be hard to guard, and she'll test us on the defensive side for sure.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to a busy week of home games. All three of those Otter girls basketball games you'll be able to find on the radio on News Talk 1250 KBRF, and Tuesday's doubleheader with the girls game at 3 and then the boys game, or the girls game at 5:30 or 6, and the boys game to follow. That will also be streamed live on the Fergus Now app. So, all right, Josh, everybody healthy right now? You coming through the first 4 games unscathed that way, injury-wise?
Yep, we're all healthy. So we've got a nice stretch here at home before Christmas break, and hopefully we can stack up a couple of wins along the way.
All right, enjoy the weekend.
Thanks.
All right, Josh Steer, head coach of the Otter girls basketball team. We're sticking with basketball. Brian Chesbo of West Central area, the boys basketball team there, is going to join us after the break, so stay tuned. More to come on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live on the Fergus Now app.
High-quality local embroidery for your community. Running Stitches is the choice for everything, from business logos to team apparel and personal projects. They bring your designs to life. Andrew and Allison Olson from Running Stitches Embroidery are proud supporters of local sports.
Here's to a great season for all our favorite high school athletes. American Legion is a favorite too and serves up everyone's favorite barbecued ribs. American Legion of Fergus Falls, open each Wednesday through Saturday on Pebble Lake Road in Fergus Falls.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
Despite overwhelming support from Democrats and Republicans, time is running out for Congress to pass the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act, which will keep AM radios in cars. Text AM to 52886 and ask Congress to bring this bill to a vote now. AM radio is too important to let this moment pass us by. Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop. This message is furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Take control of your wellness journey with expert tips for success at unveiledlocal.com. Practice mindfulness, slowing down and enjoying the most wonderful time of the year instead of rushing from one gathering to the next. Navigate the loneliness and isolation that can come with the holidays. Discover how to help yourself and others with positive holiday mental health. Unveiled Local is dedicated to inspiring and guiding individuals toward a balanced and fulfilling lifestyle. Visit unveiledlocal.com today for resources to make this holiday season your healthiest yet. Unveiledlocal.com.
The Friends and Family Sale is going on now at Minnesota Motor Company in Fergus Falls. All 2024 vehicles in stock are listed at their lowest prices of the year. Save big on Chevrolet vehicles like Silverado trucks, Suburbans, Tahoes, and more. It is the perfect time to treat yourself to a new ride. Contact the sales team at Minnesota Motor Company for details. Together, let's drive.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls. To the program, Brian Chesbo's joining us. He's a first-year head coach of the West Central Area boys basketball team. No stranger to the Knights, though. He's been an assistant for about a dozen years with Craig Hunter, and that's tough shoes to fill, Brian. You know that.
Yeah, the running joke is that the community should be at ease because between us we have 420 wins, but he's just got them all. So.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. That's a good one. Oh, yeah, you know these guys. I mean, you guys had a great year last year, made it to state. And the thing about a year like last year, okay, you're going to lose some guys from that team, and that's going to hurt, but you've got a lot of guys coming back who are part of that program, which can only be a help. So there's a kind of a balance there.
For sure. It's what you kind of hope for when you sign up to play in third grade, and to see the kids experience that and the families experience that was quite a treat. And I think, like you said, I think it kind of raised the interest level and the energy level around basketball for the community, really. And with all the depth we had last year, obviously those guys that are back this year, a lot of those, frankly, were deserving guys of significant minutes last year, or maybe just kind of on the cusp of that. So being a part of that process, getting a taste of that kind of success, that's all positive things for the program.
How did that affect these guys during the off season? Did you see kind of them ramp up a little bit in their off season training and workouts and getting in the gym?
I think they're kind of a hungry group inherently. They work on their games individually. We had some really good participation in our morning skills and weight program, and got kind of evolved throughout the summer in terms of our participation in some tournaments and trying to build some chemistry with a whole new mix of guys and figuring out kind of where we're at. So.
Well, and you've got guys, I mean, they're basketball players, good basketball players, but they're good athletes. You've got a lot of players who play a lot of sports and play together in a lot of sports. How much does that help?
It does. Chemistry is probably a really underrated part of sports, and a lot of those guys actually live pretty close together, have played growing up on basketball courts around their homes. But like you say, multi-sport athletes, so those friendships and bonds, I think, make a big difference in terms of how you navigate a season, and kind of excited to see how that plays out, but off to a good start.
Well, Ben Bai and Sam Hansen are your captains. What do you expect from your captains entering a season?
Outstanding young men and leaders. I'm a big believer in team leadership, coming from within the team. And those two guys, as a first-year coach, you couldn't ask for better leaders. Sam's probably a more high-energy kind of vocal guy. Ben's a little quieter, but a fierce competitor. They've done a great job kind of rallying the troops, bringing along the younger guys, staying positive, holding the players to the standards that we want. And obviously, they're an extension of the coaching staff effectively, and so they're off to a really good start.
So what are your strengths going to be, Brian, if you were to answer that offensively? First of all, where do you get your points this year?
Coaches are supposed to start with defense, Craig.
I understand that. I'm an announcer, though. We go offense.
So I think offensively, obviously, we bring back some nice pieces. I think floor balance will be a big thing. Teams will have to pick their poison a bit in terms of how we're defended. Ben Bai and Marshall Dewey bring a really nice inside scoring punch along with Owen Sandstead. And then we got guys on the perimeter that can both get to the rim and shoot. Cash Nelson was a participant or contributing member of the team last year, and frankly, kind of on the cusp of getting a lot of minutes. So he's going to serve a really big role as an outstanding shooter this year. And Sam can just do a little bit of everything. He's really an explosive athlete, can get to the hole, create for others, create for himself. So I'd say it's probably floor balance and kind of the ability to kind of score from lots of places and play as a team.
It's always nice to have kind of an igniter come off the bench, that sixth man or the seventh man even to come in and get into the fray right away and maybe hit a quick shot. Do you have somebody that that you're counting on in that role? Because it's not an easy role. Not everybody can do that.
Right. I think we're working on kind of identifying who that might be. You know, our depth is something that we need to develop. So kind of the 5th through 8 or 9 guys are all kind of competing for that time. You know, Carter Tresbo, my son's one of those. Owen Sansed's starting right now, but has been a really solid contributor all around. Dejan Olson, a junior, brings a really tough defensive-minded, high-effort component. And then Isaac Allen, a sophomore, really skilled. And so kind of trying to fit into that role and figure out where those guys fit in that rotation. So,
all right, let's talk defense, Brian. Since you want to go
there you go.
Anyway,
that's what we want.
Yeah, that's you guys have always had a tough defensive team. I think just that's part of being a Knight, right? You're going to go out and play strong defense and shut down the other team. What does this team bring to the court defensively?
Yeah, well, for sure, that's kind of the cultural backbone of our team, something we really emphasize. Like we say, if there's nights when we're not shooting it great, even like the other night, our opener, we're still in the game and due to kind of really competing hard on the defensive end and doing the basics really well. So I think a little bit everything there too. I think we got really good ball pressure skills on the perimeter. Ben brings a nice amount of rim protection and good post defense. And we got guys who can guard multiple positions, but we don't have quite the dynamic of athletes that we did last year in terms of maybe the types of things they all can do, but a nice mix that's allow us to toy around with some different schemes and kind of figure out what's fitting best by the end of the year.
Is this going to be a good transition team? Will we be able to create a lot off your defense?
We were pretty lousy the other night. I'll tell you that. We only had, I think, 4 or 6 per the stats.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Despite a lot of really good ball pressure, but fouling a lot the other night was one of the big issues. So we got to pressure the basketball without fouling. I think we're going to be able to rebound basketball pretty well, and that combination of pressuring the ball, rebounding, that should allow us to get out in transition. And Sam, as I mentioned, is such a dynamic athlete. He can get downhill pretty easily and really create opportunities for others in the full court game.
Staples Motley beat you at 66-60. I didn't even realize they had a new gym that they're using, because I think of Staples Motley and that old gym that they have has been there forever, since I was a kid, probably. And that's a long time, but kind of fun to go over there. And it's always a competitive game, it seems, with the Cardinals.
It is. They have, obviously, coming off a really good football season. They got a nice group of athletes that have really worked hard in the weight room. Last year we played them. They gave us a really tough run, playing a lot of sophomores. So we knew it was going to be tough coming in. A really physical brand of basketball was played that night. As I mentioned, too many fouls for us. We got some of our key guys in foul trouble, and also didn't shoot it that well. So despite that, we were in the game 55-55 with a little under 5 minutes to go. And the message there to the guys is, again, we can be in the game if we do these other details well, clean up some of the turnover issues, clean up some of the unnecessary fouling. So it was a good little feeding of humble pie to get started and kind of go back to the drawing board and figure out what we needed to focus on moving forward.
Marshall Dewey had a big night offensively for you, 25 points, and I think he had 8 rebounds as well for you there. He's one of those guys that you're counting on every day to give you one of those nights.
For sure. Going to be a great inside-outside guy. He shot it well from the perimeter that night and a lot of post moves as well. So he's going to be a tough matchup for folks to kind of figure out who and how they want to defend him. And he's just a real even keel, steady demeanor guy too. So nothing really frazzles Marshall Dewey. He plays golf and so he's used to competitive environments, but he plays well under pressure.
I think golf helps every sport. If you have golfers on your team, the mental part of the game, any sport, is so important. And if you're a golfer, you got to be tough mentally.
For sure. And they've been through a lot of tournaments and dealt with a lot of pressure situations.
Yeah.
So, yep.
So tell me who's helping you out on the coaching staff this year?
Yeah, well, ironically, so I was 1993. I was a senior at West Central. The first year we joined with Hoffman Kensington, and my head coach that year was John Nelson.
Okay.
And John Nelson's been assisting along with us and Craig for the last 10 years or so, I think. So he's back to coach the JV. Bradley Westrom's been helping as an assistant for the last, I think, 6 to 8 years. He's back to help. And then Greg Sabalik from the Kensington area is going to be here helping to assist as well. So very fortunate to have a great group of assistants. Yeah. They're kind of the backbone of the program in a lot of ways in terms of how we get things done in practice. And fortunate to have those guys.
It's a little different being the head coach, though, isn't it? You had to transition into that role. How's that gone?
You know, you learn about all the little details. I think we always had a sense of what that was. Craig got a little bit better at delegating at the end, I think. So we got a taste of some of that. But there's definitely a lot of kind of administrative things that need to be addressed and communication things that need to be addressed. But it's been a really fun process. We've always been, Craig was great about letting us be part of kind of the strategic part around how we would approach each season. So that really hasn't changed much. We're always working kind of identifying what our identity should be as a collective coaching group. So fun so far. We'll see if we make it through game 2.
Yeah, 1:30 today. Got Hillcrest coming in for your home opener.
Home opener.
What's the scouting report on the Comets?
You know, Hillcrest has always played a high-pressure brand of basketball, really high-effort group. Coach Rognes, I hear, is an outstanding individual, and is going to be good for them. They bring back a nice group of guys, good athletes that are going to compete hard, so we're expecting a hard-fought game and a tightly contested basketball game.
Always fun to get the home season going, and you've got Melrose coming in later this week, Thursday, I think.
Melrose on Thursday and Brandon Evansville on Friday. Our schedule is such that we like to say that we're going to be battle tested by the end of the year, and that's kind of how we want it. So I think the conference and the section, which both those teams represent, going to be highly competitive, and so we'll have to be ready every night.
Yeah, who is your conference pick, your leader in the conference, other than the Knights, of course?
We can't do that, Craig. That's bulletin board material for everybody else.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, I think the conference is so deep. You know, everybody, I could go down the list. Morris brings everybody back. Minnewaska is going to be having a great start to the year. Benson brings back great athletes. I've caught some soccer games, and they're outstanding. You name it. Melrose is always tough. Coach Dusha is such a good teacher of the game. And so it's going to be a tough battle night in and night out, but we're hopefully up to the task.
Every night, right? You got to bring your A game, as they say. There's a lot of cliches in sports.
Oh, we can use them all day long.
We could. Well, that'll be fun. Fun to get the home season rolling today. We'll have that game, too. Bob Roars will be over in Barrett today for the game at 1:30, and you'll find it today on KJ Country, 96.5 FM for the Knights and the Hillcrest Comets. Everybody healthy right now, Brian?
You know, everybody, unfortunately, except for Carter Chesbo. He fractured his elbow the other night in the first game, so he'll be out for a few weeks. But as we say, next man up, and we'll figure out how to get some depth developed through that process, and he'll hopefully be back around the first of the year.
All right. Well, this was interview 1 for you today. I imagine Bob will corral you before the game, too. It's part of the head coaching
We'll
roles.
do a 2 for 1. Yep.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for making the trip over and talking about your team. Good luck this year to the Knights.
Appreciate all the great coverage, Craig.
Hey, it was a lot of fun last year following them state and covering those games. I know your kids want to be back there, and I wouldn't put it past them. So, Brian Chesbo, head coach of the West Central Area boys basketball team. We're actually going to talk to Hillcrest head coach Donnie Rognes next. So we'll hear what he has to say about today's game and about the Comets season as they get their season underway. This is their first game of the season. So we'll do that on the other side of the break here on our Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and through the Fergus Now app.
News, weather, sports, and farm information. News Talk 1250 AM KBRF Fergus Falls. Depend on it. Portions of today's program may be pre-recorded.
This holiday season, Minnesota Motor Company has the gifts everyone is going to love. Give a gift of GM floor liners or a complete detail, and you will be gifted a $100 car wash gift card that you can keep for yourself or gift to someone else. Purchase a $100 car wash card and receive a $20 car wash card free. Your holiday shopping is covered. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Leighton Media has an amazing opportunity to add a media consultant to our Fergus Falls team. If you have energy, integrity, and a passion to talk to people, you might be the perfect fit. We want someone that is not only a go-getter, but a team player who's eager to be part of a successful, supportive team. If you're ready to make an impact with the businesses we work with, we want to hear from you. Apply today at Leighton.media and become part of a team that values community, integrity, and growth. That's Leighton.media to apply. Your success starts here.
As a teacher, I should know the answers, but with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, answers don't come easy. Steroids made my gut feel better, but they brought symptoms and risks of their own. A friend told me about the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, and they helped me find a specialist. We talked through the pros and cons and landed on a new treatment. I feel like the guy with answers again. Don't wait. Make sure you have the latest info and the best plan for you. Spill your guts. Learn more at spillyourguts.org.
Quality Toyota is proud to salute the achievements of each quality player. It takes teamwork to compete, and the Quality Player Award recognizes the extra effort by an individual in each athletic contest. Quality Toyota commends the hard work, dedication, and quality efforts of these outstanding youth. That attitude will help each quality player as they go forward. Congratulations to each of the quality players from Quality Toyota on West Lincoln Avenue in Fergus Falls. QualityToyota.net. Let's go places.
I'm Dave Bishop coming to you from the Fergus Falls Family YMCA, and boy, do we have an event going on here today. It's the most wonderful time of the year, and we're excited to have the Fergus Falls Kids and Parents Expo presented by Lake Region Healthcare Pediatric Therapies coming up right here. It's going to start at 9 o'clock. It's going to be an absolute blast. FM Bank will be making sure Santa and his team are making an appearance with us here at the Fergus Falls YMCA. You can take a picture with him at the photo booth, sponsored by American Family Annabelle and Associates on the special day. And you don't want to miss all the animals from the Janka Zoo. Plus, Otter Cove is bringing a whole bunch of fun as well. Tickets are just $5 for adults, and children 12 and under get in free. Your tickets here at the door. It's going to be an absolute blast and really get you ready for a Christmas time. I'm very excited. I mean, I've been making my list. I've got Santa ready to go, so I'm just cannot wait to get in there and talk to him again. It's the Kids and Parents Expo going on at the Fergus Falls, the Family YMCA, starting up at 9 o'clock and running until 1 o'clock. It is going to be an absolute blast. The weather is going to be perfect. I know last year there's some issues with the weather. This year, none whatsoever. It is going to be an absolute blast here at the Fergus Falls Family YMCA. It's the Kids and Parents Expo, presented by Lake Region Healthcare Pediatric Therapies. Come on out and have some fun.
Welcome back to the program. We were talking earlier with Brian Chesbo of the West Central Area Boys Basketball Team. They have their home opener today against Hillcrest Lutheran Academy. We're going to have that for you at 1:30 today on KJ Country 96.5 FM, and that will be Bob Roars over in Barrett for that game. And Mark Johnson is in New Ulm today. Mark's been traveling with the Otter Boys hockey team. They were at Dodge County last night and won 6-3. And now they're at New Ulm for an afternoon game, a 2 o'clock game today. And you'll find that one on Real Rock Z103 today. Also, the Bison football team plays their first playoff game. That's at 1 o'clock today here on News Talk 1250 KBRF. So there's a lot going on. And then we have Christmas music going on all day over on 977 FM, getting the holiday spirit there. And yeah, lots of stuff on the radio today. Well, Donovan Rogness is going to take over as head coach for the Hillcrest Comets. He served as an assistant to Ryan Garvin for the past 5 seasons, and Donnie's a former Comet himself, part of some really good teams back around 2000. Exciting player, and I know he's a passionate coach. He loves working with the kids, and he's got Sam Nash on his staff, and Andy Stender, and Nate Selvig, all those guys. Hillcrest names you'll recall, I'm sure. And they've got some holes to fill this year. The Comets are going to have to replace their top scorers from last year, Noah Brumfield and Luke Christensen, and Gabe Swedenberg were all lost to graduation. But they have returning letter winners at forward Preston Berge and Ethan Swedberg, and at guard Sean Berge and Lincoln Nash are all back. So they do have some experience there. And Coach Rogness has, I think, real potential on the bench, too, to have some pretty good depth for the team this year. Cohen Draxton is a senior that will be coming off the bench, and juniors Drew Fisher and Griffin House and Kian Stender, Trey Swedenberg, and Zane Holmquist are all in the mix as well for the Comets as they get ready to start the season today at West Central Area High School in Barrett. And then Tuesday, the Comets are going to be at home. They will host Battle Lake in their Little 8 conference opener, and that game will be on KJ Country 96.5 FM on Tuesday evening. And then Thursday, they head to Hancock to take on the Owls. So Hillcrest will be busy this week. They get the season rolling today, but have 3 games on the schedule here between now and Thursday for the Hillcrest boys basketball team. Well, last night also we had the Fergus Falls girls at home against Thief River Falls in hockey, and the Otters have beat Thief River by a score of 3-2. We're going to talk with Tim Lill about that as we wrap up the coaches show with Coach Lill. So he'll be in here, well, in a couple of minutes. We'll shift over and talk about girls hockey. One thing I do want to mention, and since Derek is on the controls this morning, he's kind of the streaming guru here. I think everything's streaming. Derek knows certainly more than I do. But Tuesday we're going to be streaming a Otter basketball doubleheader on the Fergus Now app, and you guys have done a great job, Derek. This has been kind of baptism by fire, hasn't it?
It really has. But thank you for your confidence in us.
Yeah.
No, we've been having a good time, learning how to do this and really getting into the sort of meat of this live streaming over on the KBRFradio.com and the Fergus Now app. It's really been an experience and really sort of helped grow our knowledge of video production and just how we can make things work. And I think we've done a really good job of trying to make things nice, clean, and professional.
Well, on this side of the microphone with the announcers, I can tell you how much they appreciate what you guys are doing and how much help you've been, because this is all new stuff to us, and we don't have half the stuff to do that you do, but you make it so easy for us, and we appreciate that, because there's a lot going on game night, as you guys are well aware of. And,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a team effort. There are 2 teams out there competing, but there's a team of streaming team also that's trying to get it out there for the fans to be able to enjoy. So appreciate that. Hey, Tim Lill is here, so we'll take a time out and we'll come back with Coach Lill, talk Otter girls hockey on the other side of the break as our coaches show continues here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming live on the Fergus Now app.
I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your forecast from the KBRF Weather Center. Partly cloudy skies today with daytime highs approaching 39. West winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 26. Tonight, cloudy skies expected. Overcast tomorrow, chance for mixed precipitation changing to all rain, highs around 37. A dusting of snow Monday. Right now, 32.
This holiday season, Minnesota Motor Company has the gifts everyone is going to love. Give the gift of GM floor liners or a complete detail, and you will be gifted a $100 car wash gift card that you can keep for yourself or gift to someone else. Purchase a $100 car wash card and receive a $20 car wash card free. Your holiday shopping is covered.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
When you're diagnosed with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, you just want to feel better. Steroids help get my symptoms under control, but they come with problems and long-term risks. I need to look out for my future health. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation changed everything. They encouraged me to take action and even helped me find a specialist. We now have a plan that works for today and tomorrow. Don't put off finding an answer. Spill your guts. Learn more at spillyourguts.org.
You probably know Leighton Media as the company that's rocked the radio waves for over 60 years. But did you know that we put the same passion and energy into helping businesses with digital marketing? Leighton Engage works with you to implement strategic, targeted digital marketing campaigns with regular check-ins, clear expectations, and results that make sense.
Leighton Engage. Find your focus.
Get in touch today and make sense of digital marketing.
You want to feel important. You want to be part of something bigger, something that matters and that you can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We felt that way too. I'm Sergeant First Class Chris Urick from Glencoe, Minnesota, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Minnesota Army National Guard soldiers. We are people just like you, and together we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit nationalguard.com/MN to find out more. Sponsored by Minnesota Army National Guard, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Welcome back to the program. We're going to wrap up the show today with Tim Will, the head coach of the Otter Girls hockey team, and the Otter Girls are 5-3, coming off a 1-1 week. Started up at East Grand Forks on Tuesday, a 6-4 loss. And that was, boy, you talk about a momentum changer in that game, Tim. You got off to a good start, got the early lead. They took the lead after 2 periods. You got the lead back early in the third. They finished strong and got the win. So that was one of those games that almost like whoever has the puck last on their stick is going to win it.
Yeah. Love the effort. The effort was there. We outshot them by quite a bit. I think we kind of dominated that game, but some of those you just don't win. They're kind of hard to take, and it takes the night to settle down after that. But the next day at practice, I told the kids I was really proud. A lot of opportunities. We shot the puck over the net 4, 5, 6 times, maybe more. A lot of rushes where they're ending when we're shooting into her glove, which stops play. You can have them pegged down there for a minute or so, and they're pretty tired. And if you shoot to the glove, that lets them off the hook. So we practiced a lot after that for getting the puck on the ice, going low and looking for rebounds. But even though we outshot them, they have a kid that I think she had 6 or 7 shots on net and had 4 goals. This Blake Schultz. She knows how to shoot the puck, and every one of them was on the ice. And that's really hard for goalies to handle. They always look better when they go in the top corner, but they still count only as one. I try to tell the girls that, but no, I think we learned something from that. I like the road effort, and we just didn't get that one.
Avery Tonneson got you going early. Let's talk about some of the girls that have been able to get the puck in the net for you. And you've had a lot of girls do that and some good combinations out there. And seems like Avery and her line mates have come together pretty well.
Yeah, and there's more coming. She's a little, she's so skilled, and she did so much work over the summer, and she's got a heck of a shot. She's just not quite finding her open ice yet, and it's frustrating her, but she's going to break out here and really start lighting it up. She works her tail off, and those are the frustrating times. It just doesn't go in sometimes, but it was good to see her get a taste of that, and you just watch. There's more coming there.
She works her tail off. That's the quote you just had there.
Yep.
You can say that about a lot of your girls, can't you?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of girls that just are hard workers.
That effort has not been a problem. If anything, it's just the mental focus of, we got a job to do, and it's never intentional. We just get a little lackadaisical sometimes and forget to win our battles and kind of be in our positions, and we're just out there and having fun, and then it's great. It's all about fun, but you still got to remember what you're doing. And so if we have breakdowns, that's what it is, but it certainly is an effort.
Well, you have Maggie Grenigal getting a couple of assists the other night. Maggie had a game winner last night for you, and she seems to be kind of coming around too and being productive, and she's going to be a really good, two-way player for you.
Yeah, phenomenal. She creates so much offense for everybody, not just herself, but it was good for her to get that goal because she's had so many opportunities. They just haven't went in, and they've made great saves, or they just went over the net, or all these things. And I think that everyone was getting a little scared being around Greenie because she needed a goal there. So it was good to see that smile after she got that game winner. She deserved it.
Yeah, she had a couple of assists against East Grand. Hannah Johnson had a goal and an assist against East Grand. That third period, you're down 3-2, and you needed to come out strong and get some momentum back going into the third on the road like that against a team that can score. And your girls responded, got a couple of quick goals in the third to take a 4-3 lead.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying is we came out there and we're focused, knew what we had to do, and we did it. And then we got the lead. And then it's just a little lapse of focus and positioning and, just that fight to finish a game. And if you make those mistakes against a goal scorer, I think she had the last 2 goals, maybe the last, who knows, all of them. I don't know. But she gets the the puck on her stick, and you're like, oh boy. And so the goalies really don't have too much of a chance there. But yeah, we just broke down a little bit and didn't get that one.
Katie Berggren got you going in that third period. She scored the goal that tied the game, and Ava Eklund and Anna Sem assisted. And there's evidence of what I talked about earlier. You have a lot of kids that are getting involved in the scoring, and how fun is that to see that line click in a situation where you really needed a goal?
It's the most fun ever, the purple line. We put a combination there. We brought Anna Sem up from the JV, and she's centering that line, and Eklund, our lone senior, is up there on the wing. Bringing energy, and then Bergie, she's been flying all over. I can't even mention her name without smiling. That kid is so much fun. But she was always a defenseman, and we moved her to forward this year to just let her go because she's got so much energy, and she's been so disruptive for the other team. And you get down there and forecheck hard, and then we put one low on net, and she got her goal, and boy, it was something else. I was so proud of her and that entire line. And they overall, I think they're playing, up to their capabilities as hard and as well as any line we have.
And then Katie followed that up by setting up Hannah Johnson for the fourth goal.
Well, it was dirty, Craig. I couldn't believe it. She seen Hannah up ahead of her and just had her head up, and it was a pass from blue line to blue line to set her on a breakaway, and that's something that you see a real offensive player do, and that hasn't never been Bergie's, her niche to say, but it was just awesome. And Hannah went in and finished there, and Bergie, what a night! She got player of the game in the locker room for sure.
So, okay, Hannah Johnson gets the puck like that on a breakaway. What's the percentage of Hannah scoring on that breakaway, Tim?
It's pretty good. That's she made a great move on that goalie, and you see that happening, and you expect it to go in. I mean, that's maybe not fair as a coach to say about a player, but you put her in a position like that, and she's going to finish most often. And if she doesn't, she's pretty disappointed. So we're lucky to have her, and every goal she gets is so well deserved. She's the peskiest forechecker I think I've ever seen. I would hate to play against her.
You've said that before.
Yeah, they're a real pain.
6-4 loss to East Grand, but your girls came back strong. Last night you knew Thief River was going to be a tough opponent, and they went up 2-0 on you. And then the second period came around, and you wound up with all three of your goals in that second period. What kind of turned the tide on that game?
Just eventually, it was. I mean, we really dominated. First 3 minutes, we weren't ready to play again, just like always at home. We're distracted for whatever reason, but we pulled it together, and then really took over at least the last half of that period. And you just got to stick together, do your job, and eventually we broke them down. We had a lot of zone time, a lot of offense, and shooting low and getting rebounds and getting after it. Who's that? Someone's calling during my time.
It's my brother calling me during my show. What's he thinking?
You better talk to him about that. No, it was a lot of good zone time, and then eventually we had a good hard low shot from the point from Zierden, and Brimhall tipped it in, and that got us going.
Maddie Brimhall has really come on the last few games for you, and you've talked about her goal scoring, prowess the last couple of years, and just to see her get going early in the season like this, I think that bodes well for you this year.
Yeah. And she was up on her top line, and we play a lot of opponents where they have just one top line, and then you hold on for two or whatever the case is, your other two lines. But we put her at center at our second line, and I think that's gotten her 5 goals. She owns the line, and she's working hard both ways, which is what I like to see, because I know the goals are there. She's got a shot like nobody else on the team, so they're going to go in. But for me to see her working both ways and supporting the defense, down in our end is phenomenal. And yeah, the goals are going to come. They'll keep coming. She keeps working.
Brooke Zierden and Shay Katzenmeyer assisted on that goal, and there's a couple of players that just plug away for you.
Yeah, they're not fancy. They get the puck on the point, And it's one pass to one or the other, and it's put it on net and put it down low. And we've gotten a couple really big goals that way. And Kat's getting her first varsity experience this year. But I think she's got the most tempo and makes the smartest moves of all our defensemen right now on the breakout. And that's hard to find. So that kid's only going to get better too. So, and all credit to both of those two.
Well, that's the thing. This is such a young group, and you're talking about seeing such great strides and things. You see the light bulb coming on. It's got to be kind of rewarding to the coaching staff.
Yeah, it's needed, right? Because every game we're playing here, it's a 1-goal game or real close one way or the other, and it's good to test them that way. And it would be nice to have one where we could just relax a little bit as old coaches. But no, they're grinding, learning how to finish, and when they do, like last night, EG or Thief River didn't have that many shots, but they had about 6 grade A opportunities in the last 4 minutes, breakaways, and then Mia stepped up and made those saves she needed to. So it came from everybody.
Yeah, you had scoreless third period in a 3-2 game. You don't rest easily at all for a second in a period like that when the game's on the line and everybody's going after it. So.
I don't.
No.
But there you go again last night with, we scored 3 in the second and now we got the lead and it's Friday night. And what are we going to do after this? I swear. And I'm like, it's right in front of you, and it's hard for kids to focus. Again, they're having fun, and that's the greatest thing. But that maturity will come, and we kind of let down and maybe thought we had it in the bag. We didn't fight as hard as we did when we were down 2, and that's natural too. But we'll get that. We had our opportunities in the third. I think we had a few penalties too. That didn't help. Yeah, we had a 5-on-3 for almost 2 minutes that we fought off. I know Grenigal and Hannah Johnson did a phenomenal job on that.
Mia Olson in goal. After that loss at East Grand when Schultz scored a couple late and you took the loss, to be in a situation similar to that, last night with a 3-2 lead, trying to protect it, and a young goalie there who just experienced what you guys experienced Tuesday, says a lot about her and her progress. Talk about what you've seen from Mia in goal and how she has improved from day one.
Yeah. Well, she's been more than I thought she would be, through the first 4 or 5 games. And against East Grand, it wasn't her best game, and that's going to happen. At least that's what my goalie coach Casa tells me. I just say, goalies, just go stop the puck, and I'll worry about everything else. So it's good to have Nikki Casa back there, and she takes care of all of them. And she said that was bound to happen, and I really got to see how she's going to bounce back. And okay, put in net who you want to, and Mia bounced back there really nice and had that compete at the end of the game we needed, and with that said, Jurgens had a phenomenal JV game last night that was played almost. They had a lot of varsity players out there, and I think she had 38 saves in a 2-1 loss. But she deserves the net. So Tuesday night against Sartell, she's going to get her varsity starting, and everybody's really excited about that.
And that's a road game, right? At Sartell Sauk Rapids. Where do they stand in the conference? How would you rate them for Central Lakes Conference opponents?
Well, between River Lakes, Wilmer, Fergus, Sartell, all of us have played 1-goal games, or tied, and everyone's doing it to each other. So what they're going to have, I'm not sure. I don't think they have, the phenomenal first line. I don't know. I'll say that, and then they'll get 6 on us. So who knows, Craig? But they'll be tough. It's a CLC opponent. They're all tough. So it'll be a dogfight. We're excited. Except for the getting home late, I like playing. I like our mentality of playing on the road. But we got Christmas coming up pretty soon, so we'll tough this out. This midweek trips where we're not home till 11, 12 at night. It gets a little tough on the girls, but nobody cares. So just get up and go back to school.
Yep, that's
Yep.
right. Well, and you do have a home game this week too. Brainerd Little Falls coming in on Thursday. So,
And that's the same deal. They're not as dominant as they've been in the past on paper. We're looking at scores and stuff, but this would be my 11th year. I've never beat Brainerd before, so I'm always looking to try to. We've had some ties and overtime losses and stuff. So hopefully the girls can bring that and we can get one against them.
oh, they've had some really strong teams through
Yeah.
your coaching years. Okay, I have to have you expound on your final comment in your report last night.
Uh-oh, I don't remember what
Yeah.
was it.
You said Ava Eklund is going to score real soon.
Yep.
She is so close.
Yep. She told me last night. I just begged these kids to watch film. Watch how you play, so that when I tell you what you're doing wrong, you don't have to just nod your head. You get to actually see it. And she came up to us prior to the game and says, I'm a step slow getting to the boards to get that loose puck, and I can go a little harder there and get to the net and all these things. And she was really excited. And she had a shot on net that I don't know how it didn't go in, and she tipped a nice puck. I want that kid to score so bad too. But what a leader as our senior captain, and no one works harder in practice and takes care of the team better. So it's coming. It's going to be a good one, Craig.
All right. Well, look forward to your report on that goal.
It'll be all in caps, I'll tell you.
I bet it will. You mentioned, just in closing here now, you mentioned the fact that you took some penalties in the third period last night and you had to kill a 5-on-3 opportunity. Overall, how have you played with your power play and your penalty kill? Are you pleased with the progress in those two areas? Obviously, you kill a 5-on-3. You have to like that. You don't like the fact that you have to kill it, but
right.
you responded.
Yeah, it's on those our kills have been really good. We're aggressive on it. I think we gave one up last night. They just made a great play. And when you want to play aggressive and chase, and if they make 2 or 3 great passes and they beat you, then you got you. But I know that when we're on the power play and we're getting pressured constantly, we don't make good decisions. So if we can do the same thing to the opponent, that's generally what happens. But our power play is, we were, I think, 50% going into the game, and we didn't score one last night. We were close, but just it's a matter of inches and just catching girls out of position. And Maggie Grinigal is doing a fantastic job at that. And she's putting the puck in the right places. It might just go off a stick here and there, but it's been pretty good. So I'm happy with it.
All right, Coach. Thank you, Tim.
You bet. Thanks.
Tim Little, head coach of the Otter Girls hockey team, joining us on the Coaches Show. And that'll do it for this week's show. We're back next week from 8 to 9:30 here on News Talk 1250 KBRF and streaming